Hi, my name's Manuel Wilhite, and this is the fourth week assignment assessing your brand profile online, basically. The first question is describe the results on how relevant you are in your name search results. And what I wanted to do was start off with this keyword tool called SEMrush, and it's used to evaluate uh, the strengths and weaknesses of company keywords, whether it be your competitors or your personal brand or your company brand. So as we can see here, the keyword overview for Manual Wilhite, they don't have any data on it. So if nothing else, that shows that I haven't optimized my name as a keyword. And so I think that would be one of the first things I should focus in on as an individual planning to do business for a company that I start in my name, is to really focus on my name as a keyword and then navigate and guide what I would like to be branded for to content that uses my name as that keyword, to cross reference relevant content to that of which I would like to project my brand as with the keyword Manual Wilhite. So that's probably a great way to start off a brand assessment is how does your name as a keyword stand out on the internet, and what do you plan to do to navigate that towards how you desire your brand projection to be. And so, if I desire my projection to be as a designer and a marketer of salons and hair and beauty products, then that's what the relevant content that is pointed to by search engines and by keyword tools when my name is entered as a keyword. So next we have my name typed in Google, Manuel Wilhite, and we could see that uh, the first search engine results page, or SERP for short, is basically my name on Facebook. Facebook for the first entry, Facebook for the second entry. Then we have a series of images, and the images for Manual Wilhite. Then we have a slide share. We have some old tweets. We have an old abandoned Twitter page for earlygiftideas.com. Then we have the Manual Wilhite YouTube, another Manual Wilhite YouTube for an assignment, a Manual Wilhite LinkedIn, and then way down here at the very end, we have something that isn't relevant to my brand. It's about 12 people being arrested on suspicion of staging dog fights. And there's this guy named Paul Manuel Wilhite, and it says he was arrested. So that's very interesting because his age is close to mine, and that could pose a problem. So, in order to fix that, what I'd have to do is generate a lot more content so that uh, that negative entry would be pushed farther down in the search engine results. We could see here on page 2 of the Google search engine results, we have Hot Design Express, which is my website. Then we have Manual Wilhite on Google Plus, which is interesting. You think that would come up first, but even Google doesn't rate its own content entries higher than that, even though I don't really have anything on there. Then we have this Paul Wilhite guy coming up again. So There's a few things on there. Most of the things are relevant to me, but then there's a few that aren't. So next we have Bing, and what Bing has is uh, first listing. They have this mylife.com, which is really kind of a claim jumper on my name as a keyword. And when I follow this link, it's like a citation place asking me if I'd like to, list all my information on that service. So that's kind of funny. Then we have the Facebook, LinkedIn, White Pages, Google Plus, YouTube. So all of these listings are relatively um relevant. The only thing that I would say is that on all of these entries, both Bing and Google over here, is that none of them are quite relevant in the hair and beauty space. And so this is another insight that I could gain from this brand assessment, personal brand assessment, is that the content really doesn't reflect what my professional niche is. So the next question here is, do you need relevant keywords and refine the search terms to find yourself? And basically, uh, I pretty much covered that. The keywords, if I put in manual wheel height designer, manual wheel height, any other keywords relevant to the hair and beauty space, there really is no content. So that just points out the fact that I have to develop a lot more content, or at least if I have it developed, I have to optimize it and put it in certain spaces. One of those spaces could be something like a Twitter account. Now we look here at this particular Twitter account, and what it has is a lot of pictures that are basically relevant to um, the hair and beauty space. And so the only thing about that particular Twitter page is it's not really current. All of those pictures are pretty much old, so that needs to be updated. Then we have this Facebook page, which is the only real page that is uh, kind of current. I have some slightly relevant pictures on here concerning the Hot Design Express brand, some things that people in the hair and fashion realm might be interested in. And so, at all the pages, I guess this Facebook page really is um, the closest to being relevant, even though it's not a complete and consistent touch point, uh, jumping off point, because there's nowhere here that anybody can really um, get in touch with me to do any work, because technically I'm not open for business. So next here we have is the LinkedIn page, and the LinkedIn page is pretty undeveloped. So this is another area that needs work. What it needs is, well, it needs content. It needs all of the relevant places filled in. It needs content. Nobody really can connect with me right here because nothing that represents my character or my profession or my marketing niche is available. And so that's what needs to be updated so it reflects relevancy in how I'm trying to project my personal brand. Next, what we have is the Google Plus. Google Plus is another undeveloped touch point. Google took it upon itself to list all the uh, videos I put on YouTube, and uh, those are slightly relevant. They're all school videos, school related project assignments. So, in that case, it doesn't really project professionalism, it really just projects somebody that's doing some schoolwork. No matter how good it is, it doesn't really project somebody that's out in the industry, out and about doing things. So this obviously needs to be updated. Then we have Pinterest, a Pinterest account. This is kind of relevant because it shows digital illustration for hair related things. If I'm doing design, I have to be up to date on a lot of techniques that it takes to recreate photorealism in the realm of digital illustration of hair and beauty products. And so Pinterest is a great place for that because it's graphically oriented and it transmits a lot of information just within a picture. You could look at this picture and you could see how it was stylized, maybe get some insights on some of the techniques that were used, and generally use the information to broaden your conceptual base about how these techniques could be implemented and how you can fold them into what you're doing professionally. Whether or not this is uh, totally relevant to my brand as it being consistently projected on all my touch points, that's up for question. It depends on, how I fine tune that. Then we have my Tumblr page. Tumblr page, more school oriented. It has some of my thoughts on each one of the semesters that we've had, and it could be interesting. It could be interesting. I guess for an employer, they can get some insight into, how I write, my writing style, what some of my thoughts are on particular concepts. I don't necessarily have a lot of graphics on here. In some of the earlier months, I do, and those are fairly generic. Logo here, some kind of Photoshop, cookie cutter looking stuff. So generally, this is pretty dry as a touch point for my brand, for my personal brand. There's a little bit there, but it's not really pointing anything to anything, and it's not really representing a consistent message across platforms. As you can see, my clout account is totally underutilized and pretty much not there. I couldn't sign into it. They had to send me an email, but it takes 24 hours, and so I've never really used it personally. Um, but I'll look into that as a part of my brand projection arsenal. You're supposed to really claim your name in all the different areas that are relevant to a person doing a search online so that you can head off any type of negative uh, projections or any type of things that don't shed a positive light on your personal brand. So, say if like that dog fighting guy Paul Wilhite decides he wants his thing there, then you know. So that's an example. Here we are on cred. As you can see, I've claimed cred, but now they want $19. So what I have to do as an educated customer is go really see if that's 19. I have to read the terms and conditions down here, find out exactly what that 19 entails. They're gonna charge me every day. Are they gonna charge me every week, every month? Do they charge me year? I mean, You have to be really careful online. So that's my cred, but obviously it's undeveloped. Here we have something interesting. This is my Wix account. Now, I've been a cook at the University of California for almost 28 years. So I've done graphics a lot of those years. So my two skills have kind of coincided as a food stylist. This is what I used to do. These are some of the pictures I've taken. And the only thing is that it's not really relevant to the hair and beauty space. And that's why I really never used this as a representation of what I'm doing as far as hair and beauty. I was into food and beverage marketing, and that's pretty much what that was. And still shots and product photography. I This is some of the stuff I actually created. I've made all the food that's in these pictures. This is some of my old packaging. This is where I got into packaging somewhere around the year 2000. So this is a good touch point, but is it relevant to the projection, that the brand projection that I'd like to have? And that's probably no. Here we have a slide share that is school oriented. It pretty generalized. This was in my Full Sail Bachelor of Science first year. And so this is before I really discovered my niche. I was going to be doing mixtapes and album covers and music oriented stuff. And, it's pretty shallow. But uh, that's a representation of another touch point. That's not particularly what I would use either. So basically, the overall consensus here is that out of all these touch points and the optimization of my name as a keyword, there could really be used a lot of development as far as bringing it all together under a unified umbrella of my hair and beauty marketing, and then have all of that actually point to some objectives that I could really attach a KPI or something to, and really monitor the brand the way it's supposed to be. Listen for activity, encourage engagement, etc., etc. So to really bring it into the fold of a 360 rounded marketing plan. That being said, if I take a look at some domains that I have laying around, one of them is manuelwillhite.info. And so with this domain, I'll probably use that as a base point for the Emmanuel Wilhite brand, which kind of offshoots into some of the other things that I'm doing, namely Hot Design Express. But to have that base place, manuelwillhite.info, that might have a resume, it might have a video introduction, it might have incidental information about me as an individual, me as a person, me as a marketing guy, and maybe hobbies or anything. So, however, I wish to kind of tweak that and fine tune that so that I could have it be a part of my search engine results, actually, to have it some content that's relevant to me as an individual. Among all of these other different domains, but those are all like business related. So this is a part of my brand strategy. This right here is the basis of the new Hot Design Express. It's in development. It's just a fresh template, but just to give you a quick tour, it has Jam Social built into it. And what that is the social networking element of the content management system which I'm using, which is Joomla. So people can log in, and then after you log in, you get all the things that a social network would have: the ability to chat, upload pictures, upload photos, be a part of a community, basically. Um, all the usual things that you would do on like a Facebook or whatever. And so, but this needs development. This is the new hot design express, which I'm in the midst of updating. So this is kind of like another touch point that's in development. This is me, Manuel Wilhite. This is Hot Design Express, marketing for hair and beauty. So that's that. Some other things I have: the blog is built in. It's gonna have shopping, and the shopping is for graphics related things, not actual merchandise or anything. Just uh, stuff that's related to marketing package, branding on your social media touch points, product design, labeling, packaging. So you can just imagine that being in all these spaces. And that's about all for that. So this is going to be the new Hot Design Express. Right here is what we have is the old Hot Design Express. I liked it, but it turns out that the technology for this particular template is so old it makes it vulnerable and stuff. It's not quite as flexible for the people that I have working with it. So um, I'll have to upgrade from this. So this is what I'm switching over to. This website was essentially like the new one I'm going over to. It also has Jam Social and shopping functions and places where people could upload things, and it's set up with calls to actions and shopping carts and services and stuff like that. So that's all very complicated, and basically that's about it for the tour of where my personal brandings are. I think the overall consensus is that they all could use development, and development that would have a unified message across all of these tabs, all of the different places that somebody goes to where my name is at. There should be a consistent message, which is whatever I'm trying to project. And that ends this presentation.